Hey fellas, M37 here. I'm just talking about some changes coming to you on Mod 15. Been covering the classes, trying to cover all of them. We are at the TRICKSTER Rogue class changes now. Once again, to let everyone know that these are on preview at the current time, and that they are subject to change. Things may be added, things may be taken away. And if you see something you don't like, go ahead and put it on their official, unofficial Reddit. It is read not only by the moderators, but it's also read by the developers. But don't be surprised if they don't take it off and banned you for saying something that they find is negative about their game. Or you can watch my video about my morning newspapers that I use for Neverwinter, the forums that I like, and you can put it on those forums. But as a community, you guys need to get together, you TRICKSTER Rogues, because you are being nerfed. I'm going to tell you ahead of time before I do go over these, and you're going to have to really push hard to get back things that you use the most in your optimal builds. And the only way for you to do that is by using these forums and flooding them. Hey, TRICKSTER Rogues. Did I say this goes live November the 6th? I don't know if I did or not, but all these changes that may come will be live on November the 6th. Okay, hopefully this is the moment you've all been waiting for, because this is the major rebalancing of the TRICKSTER Rogue class. The main goals of this pass were to make sure that TRICKSTER Rogues have more than one viable feat tree. Powers were getting a more even distribution of usage, and trouble interactions were fixed. To accomplish this, we have done a lot of work to all feat trees, adjusted many encounters, at-will class features, and daily powers, and changed the way stealth regenerates. While a lot of these changes are buffs and quality of life improvements, there are definitely some nerfs in there. Well, they admit it. There's some nerfs in there. When tackling stealth, we realized that there were a couple of core problems with the mechanic. In most cases, you would enter a fight and use stealth once, but then couldn't really get away long enough to use it again without using powers like Shadow Strike, or having access to the Shadow of Demise feat. To fix this, taking damage now reduces your stealth regeneration, instead of halting it, so that you have more consistent opportunities to use it. It kind of sounds good, doesn't it? In PvP, there were also some frustrations with stealth, since TRICKSTER Rogues could re-enter stealth so often they were basically untargetable for a majority of the fight. Sorry guys. Without hindering the mechanic as a whole, we came up with a solution that will only affect the rogue while they are in PvP. Attacking enemies while stealth will reveal you to other players, but still allow you to gain the mechanical advantage of stealth, such as Shadow of Demise. We also increased the time it takes to regain the stealth bar, or regain it. This is mostly because we want stealth regeneration to feel more powerful, and we wanted more room for it to grow without it becoming a problem. An example of this can be found in Master Infiltrator. Gloaming Cut now offers a stealth regeneration buff for a period of time. As for the other changes you will see below, we really wanted to focus on getting lesser used powers into a better state. We also took a pass at some powers that felt clunky to make them feel a bit more fluid, like Duelist Flurry and Gloaming Cut. Baseline. Stealth changes. Now it takes 12.5 seconds to build a full bar up from 10 seconds. Duration increased to 6 seconds, up from 5 seconds. Taking damage no longer interrupts stealth regeneration. Taking damage now has stealth regeneration for 2 seconds instead of stopping it for 3 seconds. Stealth in PvP. Trickster rogues will now be visible to opponents when they deal damage from stealth. Powers that do not remove stealth will not reveal the rogue and damage over time effects, such as your smoke bomb and your path of blades. Will not remove stealth. This only occurs while in PvP mode. Powers at will changes. Duelist Flurry. We'll start with that, of course. That's where we're at. It's been revamped. Bleed chance on each swing has been increased to 100%. Final combo now lasts for 6 attacks instead of 9. Final combo's animation time has been halved related to the above. The final combo of this power no longer reduces your stealth meter by a large amount. It now reduces stealth by 7.5 cents. 7.5% per swing. 70% for a full combo. Bleed damage is lowered by 40%. Now, isn't that where you guys get the biggest part of your damage from? It's from stacking bleed damage. Well, now I think on the end game though, I think you guys are replacing the Duelist Flurry with this. I think it's called Sly, because bosses, if the bosses are dying fast or melting down fast, but on bosses that are a longer fight, I mean, that gonna hurt you guys? I mean, I don't play a rogue, but I know a little bit about them. 40%. That's a lot, man. Gonna be a big hurt, ain't it? For some of your builds. I mean, I'm asking you guys. Tell me in your comments down below here. Let me know what you think. Cloud of Steel. Maximum stack count increases to 10, up from 8. Base damage is increased by 12%. Sly Flourish. Yeah, I think this is one you guys replace Duelist Flurry with in the end game if the bosses are dying real fast. But I can still see where some end game, boss fights, they take quite a bit more time than your 2 to 5 minutes. But I don't know. If it's going to be a short boss fight, yeah, Sly Flourish will be better. Broken armor debuff is reduced to 4%. That's down from 10%. Well, he got nerfed too. Sly Flourish, broken armor debuff now stacks up to 3 times for a total of 12%. Okay. Gloaming Cut, rework, damage increased by 25%. Gloaming Cut, charge time reduced to 0.25 seconds, down from 0.7 seconds. This will make the power cast 45% faster. Gloaming Cut. Execution damage increased to 100% at rank 1. That's up from 25%. Well, I don't know, is that a good thing, guys? Let me know. Note, this is the same as the old rank 4 value. Actually, I think it's Gloaming Cut and stuff. Isn't that used in PvP? I'm not sure. Execution damage no longer increases at each rank. Stealth gain on kill no longer increases at each rank, 20% down from 35%. Now increases stealth regeneration by 7.5% for 8 seconds. Now increases stealth regeneration amount by 2.5% per rank. Those are new additions. Okay. Disheartened. strike. Disheartening strike. Been reworked. The damage debuff has been reduced to 6%. The damage debuff per rank has been reduced to 2%. Now increases damage you deal to the target by 6%. It now increases damage you deal to the target by 2% per rank. Duration reduced to 12 seconds, down from 15 seconds. Now deals damage every 2 seconds, up from every 1.5 seconds. And something totally new, it now deals minor damage when first applied, about 1 tick's worth of the DOT, which is damage over time. And we're going on down to the encounter changes. Bait and switch has been reworked. The decoy will now force enemies to attack it when enemies are tricked. This does not work for bosses. Now, as far as I know, the decoy, when I was goofing around with my rogue, always did make the if I dropped it in a set of mobs, the mobs would attack it. But well, maybe I was just lucky. I don't know, but now it says it'll force the enemies to attack it, except for bosses. Okay, trick range increased to 20 feet. That's up from 15. Cooldown decreased to 24 seconds. That's down from 25. Decoy duration reduced to 12 seconds. Decoy duration is only 12 seconds now. That's a big change. It used to be 21 seconds. AP gained per rank increased to 10%. That's up from 1%. The decoy will now trick enemies once a second, down from 4 times a second. Fixed an issue where the rank up value plus 10% decoy hit points would be gained at rank 1. They also fixed an issue where the decoy's maximum hit points would not increase based off of the player's hit points. Thank you, baby doll. She just brought me a Pepsi. I'm the luckiest man in the world. I got her a great wife. I hope some of you guys are as lucky as I am. Let's get back to where I was at. AP gained from this power should now be on par with other encounter powers, as previously it generated no AP. So they did some changes to Blitz. Blitz has been revamped. New stealth reduces all encounter cooldowns by 1 second. Cooldown reduction on power usage is increased by 0.5 seconds per rank. No longer slows targets hit. Blitz when stealthed no longer shows targets hit. No longer has a longer activation time while in stealth. Its cooldowns increased to 14 seconds, up from 12 seconds. Vengeance Pursuit AoE damage radius has increased to 12 feet, up from 8 feet. Impact Shot charge refill times lowered to 8 seconds. That's down from 11 seconds. Yeah, okay. Let's go down to Smoke Bomb. It's been revamped. Damage reduced by 30%. Ooh. Okay. Smoke Bomb's a good one. I really liked my Smoke Bomb. And they're going to reduce that damage by 30%. Okay, fixed an issue where Smoke Bomb wasn't correctly reading in a damage table. Damage increased by 8%. You decreased it by 30%. Correctly reading in a damage table. Damage increased by 8%. Okay, that's... Okay, I'm a little confused on that one. I'm not sure what I understand that one. If you do, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let us know. Duration is now 5 seconds at all ranks instead of 2 to 5 based on rank. Smoke bombs while in stealth no longer slows enemies. Well, see, that was quite a benefit too. I really like my Smoke Bomb, guys. Or I did. Smoke bomb's base cooldown is increased by 4 seconds. 22 seconds, that's up from 18. Smoke bomb while stealth now grants combat advantage against all enemies in smoke bomb. Oh, that's nice. It now reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds per rank up. It now triggers at the user's feet instead of being 5 feet in front of them. Well, it always triggered at my feet. I don't know about that. I mean, it's like would be right at the center of me wherever I dropped the smoke bomb. Maybe I was lucky too on that one. I don't know, but that's what it says. Alright, Shadow Disappearance has been revamped. This power no longer consumes stealth when used from stealth. Damage is increased by 28%. Damage per stack is reduced to 10%, down from 20%. So damage per rank has been reduced to 10%, down from 20%. Okay, so at 28%, it's kind of increase there is just not much. It actually goes into the negative if per rank it's went down 10%. That's what you got, 4 ranks. So you got 40% where you used to have 80%. So if you're taking that 40% and it's been increased by 28, 40, 50, 60, that's 68%. So let's see here, that would be a 12% loss from the way I'm looking at it. Okay, it no longer causes there to be no cooldown when used from stealth. Activation time is reduced by 20%. Cooldowns reduced to 14 seconds, down from 18. It no longer removes you from stealth when used in stealth. Okay, impossible to catch. Base duration is increased to 4 seconds, up from 2. Buff duration no longer increases at each rank. Each rank now reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds. So your buff duration used to increase for each rank. Now it's reduces the cooldown by 2 seconds. Cooldowns increase to 22 seconds, up from 18. Stealth now grants 25% damage resistance. That's a big change. It used to be 50. That's a 25% decrease. Stealth now grants 25% movement speed. It now grants 100% deflect. Wow, that's down from 20,000% deflect. That was what that prominence enchant was so good for. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Okay, Blade Flurry reworked. The power can be used up to 4 times before going on cooldown. If you haven't used the power in the last 20 seconds, affected by recharge speed, then the 4-time counter will automatically be reset. Damage increased by 43%. Recharge time increased up to 20 seconds. That's up from 16. AP gained from this power should now be on par with the other encounter powers. It has been significantly increased. Fixed an issue where the power could be cast at an additional 1 to 2 times. Well, I like that the Blade Flurry is going to be 43%. That's nice for AoE, right? Death Strike now teleports you to the target instantly and now correctly triggers stealth-based procs. And it should no longer be interrupted by other powers when used from stealth. Daily changes. Let me open up my pop here. Grab a drink. I'm already seeing some pretty unhappy Trickster rogue guys. For sure. Alright, moving right along. Your daily changes, your Courage Breaker now slows the target by 70%. It used to be 90%. And now places a 25% damage reduction debuff on the target. That's plus 5% per rank. Now places a 12.5% damage resistance reduction debuff on the target. What? You just said that. Courage Breaker now places a 25% damage reduction debuff. Oh, that's damage reduction. This is damage resistance reduction debuff. Yeah. Alright. Make sure you guys understood that. I'll go over it again. Now places 25% damage reduction debuff on the target, plus 5% per rank. It now places a 12.5% damage resistance reduction debuff on the target, plus 2.5% per rank. No longer increases player power by 25%. Yeah, there goes your power buff. Duration is now 8 seconds, down from 10 for PvE, up from 5 for PvP. Whirlwind of Blades now grants plus 8% outgoing damage for each target hit, up to 5. Whirlwind of Blades. Buff duration is reduced to 10 seconds from 12 seconds. Bloodbath. This power now deals damage over 2 seconds, down from 2.7 seconds. And it now deals damage 9 times, down from 10 times. Hateful Knives. Combat advantage times is increased to 2 seconds per rank. That's up from 1 second. Here's some class feature changes. Sneak Attack now also increases recharge speed by 10% while stealth. It increases your movement speed and recharge speed by an additional 5% per rank, down from 10%. Talisman of Shadows changes. Day's duration now also increases by 0.33 seconds per rank. It now has a base radius of 20 feet. That's up from 10. No longer increases radius per rank. Now correctly states that it slows targets by 80% for its duration. Okay, I don't remember how much increase you got per rank in one of the 4 ranks. But the base radius has 20%, 20 feet up from 10. Okay, so I'm not sure if that's a good thing, because you got to take in effect that you're no longer getting your increase with each point spent in it. Now correctly states that it slows targets by 80% for its duration. Oppressive Darkness. Damage increased by 39%. Will now only proc on the first and last hits of Duelist Flurry instead of every hit. Advantageous Position. Okay. Now lasts for 5 seconds at rank 1. Now reduces damage you take from AoE and range powers by 15%. That's down from 20%. It now increases the damage reduction by 5% per rank up from 0%. So it increases the damage reduction by 5% per rank. It no longer increases duration at each rank up. So you get what you get. Dagger Threat. It's been revamped. You deal up to 7.5% more damage with ranged attacks based on how close you are to your target. You'll receive the maximum benefit from this power when you're within 20 feet of the target. You now gain up to 2.5% more damage per rank, down from 5%. Skillful Infiltrator. Base run speed is increased to 7.5% at rank 1 from 5%. Run speed per rank reduced to 2.5%. That's from 5%. Deflection chance and critical chance is increased to 2% at rank 1. That's up from 1%. Wow, and it's going on. And it continues. Here's feats. Saboteur, Sneaky Stabber, Gloaming Cut, no longer grants up to 10% stealth on hit. Stealth regeneration granted by the Gloaming Cut is increased by an additional up to 10%. Distracting Knife, Disheartening Strike now reduces damage resistance and damage of targets hit by an additional 5%. You know, I'm wondering if they're going to give you a free respect token, or if they're just going to, when it comes out, all the feats and everything is going to be clear for you. Anyway, let's move on. Exposed Weakness. This is new. It's moved from the Executioner tree to this tree. So your Exposed Weakness has moved to Saboteur from the Executioner tree. It's no longer part of it. Return to Shadows. While behind your target, you deal up to 25% more damage with encounter powers, and they refill up to 25% of your stealth meter. Stealth gain cannot be triggered while stealthed. Gutterborns. Touch. Reworked. Dealing combat advantage damage to an enemy increases your armor penetration and damage dealt up to 10%. Shadowy Opportunity has been reworked. It now causes you to gain Shadow Opportunity for 5 seconds after leaving stealth. While active, your attacks deal an additional up to 50% weapon damage as piercing damage. It no longer procs on every hit of Duelist Flurry, and now only procs on the first and last hits. Okay, One with the Shadows. Every 15 seconds you gain the One with the Shadows effect. This causes your next encounter power to refill your stealth meter for 15 seconds afterwards. Your damage is increased by 30%. Alright, it can no longer trigger while your stealth meter is full. Alright, that's a Saboteur tree. Scoundrel. Survivor reworked while below 50%. Hit points gained 5% lifesteal chance, defect chance. Press the advantage reworked. Now causes impossible to catch to increase your combat advantage damage up to 10% for its duration. Master Infighter reworked. Deflecting an attack grants you the reversal buff for 6 seconds. Reversal causes you to deal up to 10% more damage and take 10% less damage from targets. Whole attack, you deflected. Savage Blows. Dealing damage to foes increases damage of your powers by up to 1% for 4 seconds. Savage Blows now stacks up to 10 times, up from 5. When at maximum stacks, you gain an additional 5% damage. Concussive Strike's been revamped. Day's duration has been lowered 2 seconds. That's down from 2.5. No longer half as effective for its players. When you daze a foe with this power, you gain 5% deflect chance for 5 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Mocking Jester reworked. Every second, your deflection chance is increased by 5%, stacking up to 20 times. Deflecting an attack resets this bonus and causes you to reposit the attacker, dealing up to 200% of your weapon damage as physical damage. Low blows damage per rank has been reduced up to 20%, down from 25. Skullcracker has been reworked. Every 15 seconds, DS, you gain Skullcracker, which causes your next at-will or encounter power to daze an enemy for 3 seconds and apply a mark to them for 6 seconds. Duration of this mark is increased by 0.5. Time you deal damage up to a maximum of 4 bonus seconds, while marked enemies take 25% more damage from your attacks, and your powers deal damage to them as if they were controlled. Okay, so yeah, you're going to be pretty viable in PvP still yet. Okay, Executioner, Death Nail, you deal 20% more damage to foes below 50% hit points. Last moments, you deal up to 20% more damage to foes as their health decreases. This bonus is doubled while in stealth. Twisted Grin has been reworked. When the foe within 30 feet of you dies, you gain the Twisted Gain effect for 10 seconds. Twisted Grin, your at-will attacks deal up to 25% more damage, and you are healed for 100% of the additional damage dealt. Blood-soaked blades. New has been added, moved from the Saboteur tree to this tree, so that's no longer part of your Saboteur. Damage dealt from this feat now correctly scales with power buffs. Damage lowered to 40%, that's down from 50. Now triggers if a foe dies within 5 seconds of being damaged, that's up from 1.5 seconds. Exposed weakness, moved to the Saboteur tree where Blood-Soaked Blades previously was. Okay. Shadowborn, after entering stealth, your next encounter power deals up to 75% of its damage over the next 4.5 seconds. Shadow Demise revamped. While in stealth, your encounter powers add the Shadow Demise effect to the target for 6 seconds. 50% of the damage you deal to this target is dealt again as piercing damage when Shadow Demise expires. Additionally, your stealth regeneration is no longer slow when taking damage, and your stealth regeneration is increased by 20%. Okay, PvE wise, from what I've read, this is a major nerf to the TRICKSTER Rogue. I've been playing with TRICKSTER Rogues lately. I've been seeing a lot of them in the in-game and PvE, and more so than I have in the past, and they really were doing some amazing DPS. I was really enjoying running with them. I see some big changes that's going to upset quite a few of those guys. PvP wise, like I said, I think you're going to be okay there. Maybe there's a way of getting around this with different builds. Maybe you can figure it out. Hopefully you can. And let's see, you guys kidding me right now? This guy's all upset. This is totally destroying TRs. Don't know what the devs think you are doing. Constantly making changes, better than worse. Now destroyed. Rest in peace, TRs. I try to always be open-minded when you guys do an update, a change, a balance, but this, I really want the curse. Laugh out loud, they destroyed us and gave GWS a faster way to gain determination like they had any issues with determination before. They are doing everything to put the GWS in first DPS limited class. This is not the rework we were looking for. TRs were fine as they were for PvE. Doesn't make sense to ruin the class for the majority of players for a small percentage that complain. Sweet, now my TR will... I ain't saying that. In PvE because it supposedly was too good in PvP. A part of the game I never played. But anyway, this is M37, and I just thought I would bring this new possible